Hello, I'm Harry Riley. Welcome to Harry's 10-Minute Tales. This is called Dark Christmas, a ghost story by Harry Riley. This is fiction, and resemblance to anyone, living or dead, is coincidental. Are you doing anything special over Christmas, Bonnie? Such as? Seen Max or anybody else? Well, Maxwell and I. She let the rest hang in the air, savouring the sound of his name. Rory was 16, awkward and out of his depth after the disco. Bonnie was the love of his life, though clearly she had no idea of his deep affection. It had been love at first sight, and he was captured, heart and soul. Bonnie had a flirtatious manner, which had him in raptures. He had strong competition from Max, 3 years older, bold and confident, and always boasting of success with the girls. At least let me walk you home. It's dark and dangerous walking through that churchyard, and it's nearly midnight. Why? Do you care? Well, it could be haunted. I could go the long way round as I do with Maxwell, she said. Rory caught the challenge in her voice and knew it was too late to back down. If Max was scared of ghosts, then this could be his chance to show what he was made of. I'm not scared of ghosts, you'll be okay with me. He gave her a protective peck on the cheek to show she now had a real man to walk her home. As Rory and Bonnie laughed and joked and giggled through the rusty gates of the ancient burial ground, the yew trees cast deep shadows in the moonlight, and the tilted headstones seemed to have a figure lurking behind each one. What they did not know was that Max had observed them. He'd seen Rory's tentative advances on his latest conquest, and having assumed their destination, was now lurking in the churchyard, waiting for his moment to pounce, and scare the living daylights out of them. Rory would be a laughingstock after this night, and would retire back into his shell. Bonnie, would you... Hark, shush, did you hear that? Sounded like a foot scraping on a stone. Probably just a restless phantom out on the prowl. Rory tried to be bold, but got ready for a quick exit. Then they heard it again, louder and closer. They heard an unearthly cry coming from just in front, stopping them frozen in their tracks. By now they were almost at the church, and suddenly the darkness was brilliantly illuminated as security floodlights momentarily lit up the night sky. A white-faced and terrified Maxwell appeared in front of them and screamed past as if the hounds of hell were chasing him. An equally startled fox came out from behind a gravestone and rushed after him. From behind a tree a slim figure drifted up and introduced herself as Kimberly. Don't be frightened. Everybody knows ghosts do not exist. She never stopped talking, and a company appeared beyond the church, and then mysteriously vanished as they reached the streetlights again. The two walked on in silence. Rory was keen to discuss their next meeting over the Christmas holidays, but Bonnie cut him short, an urgent question on her lips. How did Kimberly know both their names? She had known Maxwell too, and had warned Bonnie to keep clear of him, as nothing good would come of it. Said he was a liar, a braggart and a cheat. How could she know all this? Her companion looked dumb. He had no answer, and was just grateful to be through the ordeal unscathed. Whoever she was on his side. Next day the police interviewed them both, asking for their movements the previous evening. Rory recalled how they heard a strange cry and were startled to see Maxwell, a friend of theirs, racing past them along the church path, being scared witless by a lowly fox. It was then the policeman dropped a bombshell. Maxwell's body had been found by an old gravedigger as he started his morning's work on a new plot. He seemed to have died of fright. What was he doing there? Strangely, this was the second body the gravedigger had discovered at the same spot. More than 50 years earlier, he had discovered the body of a young girl called Kimberly. He couldn't remember her surname, but was certain she had been murdered by a layabout called Maxwell, who had never been caught. Bonnie kept her thoughts to herself, but she now believed Kimberly was a tortured spirit, had been waiting all that time for a killer's return. Their friend Maxwell had been in the wrong place at the wrong time. End.